Wake Forest, North Carolina is one of Raleigh's top suburbs to buy a new home. 4 years ago, I did a video on the pros and cons of living in Wake Forest. Since then, we've seen some pretty dramatic changes, some challenging, like surging home prices and longer commute times. But some others are pretty exciting developments, with new amenities popping up everywhere. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 10 pros and cons that anyone considering a move to Wake Forest needs to know about. Stick around, the major changes coming in 2025 and beyond might surprise you. So let's dive in. Hi guys, Michael Sanders here, your native Raleigh realtor over at RE/MAX United. Okay, so as a Raleigh and a Wake County native, I've watched Wake Forest transform from a small town of just over 7,700 people back in 1995 to currently over 50,000 residents. This dramatic growth has created some challenges and some opportunities, starting with what's probably the biggest complaint that I hear pretty often from locals, and that's traffic. When it comes to Wake Forest traffic, you're dealing with two different situations. One, commuting in and out of Wake Forest in the different municipalities, and two, getting inside Wake Forest itself. Looking at a map of Wake Forest, you're going to see that it sits about 12 minutes northeast of Raleigh, which means you're going to be dealing with Capital Blvd. Considered one of the most challenging roads in the entire Triangle area. Some locals here even refer to it as Capital Blvd because of the morning and afternoon commute times that you're going to deal with. And partly due to the fact of the roadside aesthetics that you'll see traveling along Capital, particularly between the I-440 Beltline and Peace Street heading into downtown Raleigh. I describe the architectural style over here as used car lot chic meets pawn shop Gothic. A unique blend that you're not going to find anywhere else in the Raleigh or Wake Forest area for that matter. By the way guys, if you want to see exactly what the drive is like heading from downtown Raleigh all the way into Wake Forest on Capital Blvd, then you're absolutely going to want to check out my video, Wake Forest Driving Tour. The link is in the description below. If you're commuting from Wake Forest into downtown Raleigh during rush hour, then you're going to want to plan on about a 45-minute to an hour drive. If you're heading from Wake Forest into Durham or Research Triangle Park, then you're going to be dealing with maybe a 40 to 45-minute drive minimum. The good news, however, if you're traveling from Wake Forest into North Raleigh, then your commute might only take 10 to 15 minutes. More good news, starting in the fall of 2025, work is going to begin on a brand new plan to convert Capital Blvd into a controlled access freeway. They're going to be replacing traffic lights with interchanges, and they're going to even be adding overpasses to make Capital Blvd a much easier commute heading in and out of Wake Forest into Raleigh. Here's the bottom line on local traffic. If you've happened to live here your entire life watching all the growth, then yes, the increased traffic here is going to be noticeable. If you've experienced I-405 in LA, or the I-495 Capital Beltway around DC, or I-85 around Atlanta like I have, even the very worst of traffic in Wake Forest and pretty much the entire Triangle region is going to be an absolute piece of cake in comparison. Hey guys, if you happen to be familiar with Raleigh or Wake Forest traffic, then tell me in the comments below what you think. Do you agree or disagree that traffic here is bad? I want to know. Please comment. One major upside of Wake Forest is the fact that there's been somewhat of an explosion of retail development over the last 10 or 15 years, which has reduced the need to drive into Raleigh. The game-changing Grove 98 development brought us a 100,000 square foot Wegmans grocery store. Plus, there have been some really great additions like Five Guys, BB Bop Asian Grill, Dave's Hot Chicken, tons of other dining and retail establishments. There's tons of grocery stores around here. There's Lidl, there's Harris Teeter, Publix, there's Home Depot, Target, and soon there's going to be a brand new 152,000 square foot Costco coming to Wake Forest. Downtown Wake Forest has exploded with a lot of local favorites like White Street Brewery, Wake Forest Coffee Company, and of course the iconic Shorty's, which has been serving incredible hot dogs since way back in 1916. Plus, there's a brand new food hall coming to downtown Wake Forest. Hey guys, if you're getting good value out of these videos, I'd really appreciate it if you not only hit the like button below, but if you happen to be considering buying or selling, I'd love it if you'd reach out and give me a call, shoot me a text, or drop me a quick email. It's only when you guys reach out for my help that I'm able to keep producing videos like this. Let's talk local real estate. So like most of the United States, Wake Forest has also seen some pretty dramatic price increases. Heading into 2025, the median home price sits at just under $470,000, which is around a 22% increase just since 2022. You might think that these steep price increases would mean plenty of home inventory right now, but we really haven't seen a balanced real estate market here since the fall of 2014. Way back when gas was only around $2.50 a gallon and the iPhone 6 was just being premiered. Oh, and also self-driving cars were just a brand new thing. The silver lining? Well, right now, new construction in Wake Forest is actually going to cost you less than a resale home. And there's a whole lot more new home inventory right now. If you're interested in buying a new home, then right now, as we're heading into the first quarter of 2025, it's a fantastic opportunity to do so. One of Wake Forest's crown jewels is its downtown historic district on Main Street. Over here, the town is going to showcase some of the most beautiful historic homes in the entire Triangle area, with mature canopy trees creating a charm that you're typically only going to find in places like Hillsborough or Chapel Hill, but without Chapel Hill real estate pricing. But growth has brought along with it some additional traffic challenges that a lot of the local infrastructure hasn't been able to keep pace with. Case in point is a lot of your new neighborhood construction and apartment communities that have been built along some roads that even a decade ago were pretty quiet, sleepy secondary rural roads that have now become some of your major arteries connecting points all throughout Wake Forest. Roads like Rogers Road and Forestville Road, which 10 to 15 years ago were pretty quiet, but now they're serving major multiple subdivisions, which is going to directly impact a lot of your commuting and travel times. Despite all this growth, Wake Forest still preserves over 560 acres of parks and trails, which is my next pro. Joyner Park stands out as one of the crown jewels of Wake Forest parks. Over there, you're going to find over 117 acres of absolutely beautiful park area. There's also an amphitheater over there and a state-of-the-art community center. There's almost 16 miles of greenway trails, including the Neuse River Trail that's going to extend nearly 33 miles along the Neuse River. Plus, the town of Wake Forest is located directly next to the Falls Lake Reservoir, which is a 12,000 acre reservoir with 26,000 acres of woodlands. They're going to be perfect for boating, fishing, and hiking, plus a ton of other recreational opportunities. Now let's talk weather. While our climate over here is going to be generally mild, we're going to face some seasonal challenges that you might not be familiar with. Springtime here is going to bring some pretty heavy pollen, which the pollen season is typically going to be around late February through April. Even if you're someone who's never had allergies before, it can hit you out of nowhere. I myself never had allergies up until literally one day I hit 30 and then all of a sudden I'm taking Claritin like no tomorrow. Summers here aren't going to be extremely hot, but in July and August, the humidity here can be pretty intense. Winters are going to be pretty mild, but even a dusting of snow here can shut down pretty much everything. Education is where Wake Forest really shines. Heritage High consistently ranks among Wake County's top schools. We've also got some fantastic charter options like Wake Forest Charter Academy and Wake Preparatory Academy. If you happen to be a sports family, Heritage High, Wake Forest High, and Roseville High schools all field competitive teams that regularly compete for state championships. Let's talk about local nightlife for a minute. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm not exactly in my 20s anymore. As a matter of fact, my idea of a rave is getting your lawn mowed before it starts raining. But if you're looking for some vibrant nightlife options, then you're going to probably find that Wake Forest is going to be pretty quiet. Although you will find that we have some pretty cool breweries here, like White Street Brewery and Norse Brewing Company. But most places here are going to close relatively early. For some serious nightlife, you're going to need to head into Raleigh over to someplace like Glenwood South. However, what Wake Forest lacks in nightlife, it makes up for in community and safety. Wake Forest remains one of the Triangle's safest communities, with crime rates that you're going to find are well below the national averages. You're going to find that Wake Forest, even with all the recent growth, still has a pretty small town atmosphere. You're going to have a lot of local events and festivals, like Friday Night on White Summer Concert Series. There's a lot of seasonal festivals, Christmas Parade, 4th of July fireworks. There's summer concerts over in Joyner Park. And they have a downtown food truck rodeo. You know, speaking of Wake Forest's future, we barely scratched the surface of all the exciting changes that are going to be coming into 2025 and beyond. If you want to see what's next, including some of the major retail announcements and new developments that are going to completely transform the area, then you're going to want to check out this video that I just posted right here that's going to show you everything that's coming soon. Trust me, you're going to want to check it out, especially if you're thinking about moving to Wake Forest. And remember guys, whatever you do, get Mike and get moved.